So I'm used to saying good morning, but good afternoon, everybody. So I get the great pleasure to welcome you today to this wonderful event, the installation of our very reverend, very joyous, very loving minister, Reverend Melissa. So I want to welcome all of you. I want to welcome family, friends, those family that don't usually show up. Thank you for being here. We used to do something in our service I'd like you to do with me, if you will. So if you'll repeat after me. We see you.
We see you.
We hear you.
We hear you.
We love you.
We love you.
And we thank God for you.
We thank God for you.
I want to say just a few words. I promise there'll only be a few. You know, Rockland CSL is kind of unique, right? We're still going strong, right?
Yes.
And that's because of all of you. The people who support us on Zoom, on that thing, you know, somebody here doesn't like too much, Facebook Live, whatever other technical things we do now. But I remember this wonderful quote, and I hope that this exemplifies what Rockland is. People long forget what you said, maybe even what you did, but they don't forget how you treated them. And Rockland is truly, truly, truly a family. In every sense, we show up for each other when we're in crisis, we show up when we're having fun, we show up when we have music. And I told the musicians I would tell them a quote I ran across this week by the famous Willie Nelson, who says that music is always spiritual.
Yes.
So we just want to acknowledge the people that kept this place together in other times, our history and our herstory. You will have the advantage of having some moments with our former, and the word is actively retired minister, Reverend Jennifer. Our former Leadership Council President, Stacy, is here. Hopefully our long-acting board president, Becky Wilborn, is going to see this on Zoom or Facebook or wherever. And we also want to acknowledge those people who've passed. Mother Mary, Miss Gladys, Father Don, and our dear Donna, because we are on the backs of all of these people. And now we start a new era. And so I will get out of the way and let it be.
Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce all of our ministers who are here today. And I will begin with Pastor Albert Andrews Sr., Senior Pastor at Redemption Community World Ministries Incorporated, Brooklyn, New York.
I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. Ready to put on my long white robe.
Reverend Jennifer Berkeley, actively retired. Reverend Joan Faison, Interfaith Minister, Animal Ministry. Reverend Rodney Gittins, founder and senior minister, One Love Center for Spiritual Living, Brooklyn, New York. Eugene D. Holden, RSCP, CSL Greater Baltimore. Speaker, teacher, facilitator, musician, expression of God. Reverend Twana Malone, the Center of Peace, CSL, Philadelphia, senior minister. And our beloved Rev. Melissa Moore Nobles, spiritual director and senior minister of Rockland CSL.
I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. Ready to put on my long white robe. Lord, I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready to put on my long white robe. I would not be a sinner. I tell you the reason why. 'Cause if my Lord should call on me, Lord, I wouldn't be ready to die. Oh, I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. Ready to put on my long white robe. Saying I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. Ready to put on my long white robe. I would not be a gambler. And I tell you the reason why. 'Cause if my Lord should call on me, Lord, I wouldn't be ready to die. Oh, I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. Ready to put on my long white robe. Oh, ready to put on my long white robe. Yes, ready to put on my long white robe.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Were you born ready?
Yes.
All right. So, well, ready or not?
Here we go. Here we go.
All right. Oh, by the way, we do have. Awesome. Okay, good. That's for you. Okay. All right. So, once again, welcome everybody. Congratulations, Reverend Melissa. All right, in advance. Okay. What we're going to do is perform a libation, a ceremony generally associated with cultures in Africa. However, what we do know is that many cultures perform similar ceremonies, similar rituals. And libation is honoring those who have come before us, that have paved the way, ancestors, or those who planted the seeds for us to be here today. And so you have some instructions. While we are pouring libation, many times alcohol is used. We're not going to use alcohol.
What?
All right, we'll pass out the glasses.
Saving that for
later. We'll use water, and this will represent the ground that we're pouring the water into, and we are recognizing our earthiness. We're recognizing our groundedness in spirit. And so, for those of you who would like to, just to assist you in doing that, you can just imagine your feet on the ground, feeling the presence of the earth in which we are all connected. Many of you know how plants have an underground network. Their roots are connected underground, and we are connected in the same way. And so we are pouring it in the blessing of what we're doing with the blessings of the ancestors. This is what we're performing. So while this is going on, there will be a portion where you can speak the names of those who have come before you, your ancestors, your family, friends, or whoever comes to mind, anybody in whatever religion, anything that makes meaning for you. You can shout their name and recognize them. Okay? All right. So, I invite you to just join me as we go within. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to do anything. Preferably be still and just be open to receive and to share in the giving and receiving of the blessing. I'm just being used to do this right now. Father, Mother God, infinite divine Spirit, at this time, it is I, the I Am Presence, Reverend Rodney, in union, communion with all other aspects of the divine that are right here, right now, for this express purpose of honoring our ancestors and requesting and inquiring and trusting for the blessings for this ceremony, for Reverend Melissa's installation. And so I give thanks in knowing that these requests for acknowledgement are being received by the Spirit. And first and foremost, it is also giving thanks now, during, and afterwards.
Yes. For
the blessings as they have preceded us, and they carry us here and right now, and move us along, further us along in this truth. And so I first and foremost want to recognize those who have been on this land before any of us who have been here. I want to recognize that the native tribes who inhabited this area. They are the Ramapo. They are the Ramapo. Oh, they are the Muncie. Oh. And they are of the Lenape tribe. Oh. And so we recognize and we give thanks for them who have held this land for so long, so that it may be used and generated and regenerated for another use. And we recognize there is a higher purpose at hand. And we give thanks and bless them and pray and know for their blessings for us as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I give thanks for the power that is, the power that, regardless of whatever name, higher power, God, Allah, Buddha, Yahweh, whatever name, the 99 names of God and more, that each one recognizes this truth. Each one says yes to the recognition and the understanding that this is the all-pervasive oneness of life that shows up in all of the different ways, forms, and shapes, and sizes. We give thanks for all of the different ways in which we get to recognize the one. And so I bless all aspects of God as it shows up as each and every one. And now I also recognize that since this is a Centers for Spiritual Living event, that all those who have had any part in New Thought movement, and we first and foremost start with the founder of religious science, Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes, as he has somehow created such a global experience for each and every one of us, and those who we don't even know are being touched by the ways in which we serve. Thanks for Ernest. So we give thanks for, and at this time, speak out any name in New Thought. May it be the Fillmores in Unity. Whatever name comes to mind that you want to include in this, that they get recognized. Speak that name now, out loud. Curtis Hopkins. Speak the name.
Dan Morgan.
Dr. Dan. Johnny Coleman.
Ashe.
Bobby King.
Ashe.
All those that have come before us, laid the groundwork. Any name, could be family.
Echo.
Friends, yes. Thomas Swan Holden II.
Ashe.
Ashe.
We give thanks to the ancient Egyptians
Ashe.
who have put so much into motion in all the different ways in which so many other religions have borrowed.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Mary.
Claim the name of all of those.
Melissa Davis.
Ashe.
And so recognizing either names that have or have not been spoken, Margaret Gittens, Ingeborg Neptune, any of the names of your family and friends who have preceded you, who have had some part of you being here.
John.
And whether the names are spoken out or just felt in your heart, even if you can't think of the name, but there's a face, there's a feeling. We give thanks and we bless them for blessing us at this time. And with this and so much more, we give thanks. We say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who have said yes well in advance of us receiving and saying yes in return, answering the call. And so with this and so much more, I give thanks. I release this libation, knowing that the earth is fed, the sky is fed. Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, we know that spirit is all around, living his life as each and every one. Give thanks for this. And I feel it. And I feel that it is received. I feel this libation is received. I feel that this ritual is approved. And this ceremony is approved by all those upon whose shoulders we stand and whose ground we walk on. And so it is. Thank you. At this time, we're going to do an evocation. And the evocation is very similar to an invocation. Speaking a word of the divine. Invocation is really bringing it in from everywhere. Bringing it in and speaking it forth. I like evocation. That's recognizing the spirit of the divine that is already within us, that is always within us. And speaking forth from that place, a word of the one. It's a word that each one knows because we are all one. We're all connected. So I invite you to please go within, and this holy space that has already been created from the opening song, from the prayer that was done before we even began all this, the centering prayer. I am knowing that there is still only one power, one life, That life is God's life. That life is whole, perfect, and complete, living its life not only as myself, but all selves, all of us, ones of the one who are gathered here in the name of all the holiness, in the name of all the good, in the name of love. We are here to celebrate an idea from the mind of God that has percolated in such a wonderful way that it showed up as Reverend Melissa. A way that each and every one is here to support her in this wonderful dynamic expression of gratitude, of leadership, of hope, of compassion, of this loving service. That all of this has been orchestrated, as was prayed earlier. This is a time, the time has come, will never come again, and must happen. Must happen. For in the mind of God, this is a natural occurrence, never to be repeated.
That's right.
However, it is the seed for which even more greatness grows. And so we're here to honor Rockland CSL as it installs Reverend Melissa.
Yeah.
Installs, it's how wonderful it is to know that this is just, I mean, we just like to party. It's already done. Any excuse. This is a great one. This is a great reason that we come from wherever we come from, all together, hours away, and we come to celebrate this marriage. We come to celebrate this union, and we come to celebrate and make it official. This which is already, as it was said earlier, ordained by God, ordained from the presence within. And so I know that all the right and perfect music is selected, all the perfect words are being spoken, all the right and perfect people are here, and those who are not here on their way, we bless them as well, and we know that they are with us in the oneness, whether they are watching on YouTube or Facebook or however, or they see this even later, the recording. Know that yes, every one of us is included. Each and every one of us of the one saying yes right here and right now and witnessing this truth. And so I give thanks in knowing that this word spoken from within each and every one of us through me is the absolute truth is being revealed right here and right now. It's divine manifestation. Who knows how long it's been in the works? I don't know how young she is. What I know is that it started before she was even on the planet.
Right.
And here we are to prove it in effect. And so I give thanks. Releasing this word to the law is already joining in. It is already creating this party. So I let it go. I let it be. The good that it is unfolding to be right here, right now. Please affirm with me that you agree. You know this is the truth. Sealed in faith by saying, and so it is. And now it is. Now it is. Right on. Lovely assistant.
This is a bombastic declaration, and it's for each and every one of us, especially for Reverend Melissa.
Yeah. Same time.
I am God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love.
Yes. Same way.
The manifestation of God's inspiration. I am God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love. The manifestation of God's inspiration. You are God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love. The manifestation of God's inspiration. We of mind, a unique expression of God's love. The manifestation of God's inspiration. I am God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love. The manifestation of God's inspiration. I am God's gift.
I have the program in front of me. Here's the program. Okay. I will sing a new song by Howard Thurman. The old song of my spirit has wearied itself out. It has long ago been learned by heart, so that now it repeats itself over and over, bringing no added joy to my days or lift to my spirit. It is a good song, measured to a rhythm to which I am bound by ties of habit and timidity of mind. The words belong to old experiences, which once sprang fresh as water from a mountain crevice fed by melting snows. But my life has passed beyond to other levels where the old song is meaningless. I demand the old song that it meet the need of present urgencies. Also, I know that the work of the old song, perfect in its place, is not for the new demand. I will sing a new song. As difficult as it is, I must learn the new song that is capable of meeting the new need. I must fashion new words born of all the new growth of my life, my mind and spirit. I must prepare for new melodies that have never been mine before, that all that is within me may lift my voice unto God. How I love old familiarity of the wearied melody, how I shrink from the harsh discords of the new, untried harmonies. Teach me, Father, that I might learn with the abandonment and enthusiasm of spirit, the fresh and new accent, the untried melody, to meet the need of the untried morrow. Thus I may rejoice with each new day and delight my spirit in each fresh unfolding. I will sing this day a new song until thee, O God.
Let's just take a nice deep breath, because I need it. I feel like a proud godmother. Because I could never take your mama's place. And so I met Reverend Melissa 16 years ago. And I only know that because I know that Aria and Zola just had a supreme 16 birthday. So I'm just going to ask them and Marco just stand up, because this is a family that has supported this woman. And so my first memory of Reverend Melissa, before she was a reverend, before she even knew she was going to be a reverend, was standing at the front of Sacred Center in New York, in the front of the sanctuary. It's like 800 people there. And Reverend Melissa comes walking in amongst all these people with Zola in one arm and Aria in the other arm. And she comes down the aisle And I know exactly where you sat. You sat to the left, right about in the middle. And in that moment, that was a Kodak moment for me. Because in that moment, I took a picture of her that has been with me since. And I can recall it anytime. And I do recall it a lot. And at that time in our first meeting, not even our first meeting, but our first meetings, there was something that I always knew about Melissa, and there's something that she always knew about herself. But we didn't know what we knew. We did not know what we knew. We only knew, I believe, that there was a divine appointment waiting to be had. And this is evidence right here, right now. Of the manifestation of that appointment. And over the years, with all the trains, planes, and automobiles, because surely Melissa, I'll call you Melissa until you become the Reverend, because surely Melissa had the stamina, had the energy, had the resilience like I had never seen before. She worked in Manhattan. She took the train from Manhattan to South Orange, New Jersey, and she continued her studies through her practitioner training. When the evening was over, she got on the train, went back to Penn Station, and then took a train and probably a bus to Mount Vernon. So this is how dedicated, this is the evidence of how dedicated this woman was before she even knew what the divine appointment held in store for her. And over the 16 years of knowing her and being in her company, being her friend, her teacher, her mentor, her soul sister, I've watched her become her most authentic self. Because she knew, and I knew, that could not be denied. That could not be ignored. It wasn't an easy time of it, for many twists and turns happened, but she never, ever, ever stopped moving forward, even though she didn't know what she knew. And we had many conversations about that. And so over the time, it wasn't even a connecting the dots thing. It wasn't. It was a stripping away, a true stripping away of anything that was not in alignment with the divine appointment. And she did that courageously. She did that when she had no idea what was coming next. She only knew that in faith, in trust in God, that the next right thing was guaranteed. And it was guaranteed, and it is guaranteed, and it's still guaranteed.
That's a guarantee.
And so here she sits, Reverend Melissa, authentically who she is, honestly who she is, lovingly who she is, and joyfully who she is. Reverend Melissa has genuine and passionate enthusiasm. And this enthusiasm is for the teaching, for the Rockland Center for Spiritual Living, and I always knew somehow, I would pull her in, and this would be happening. So over time, I got that. I truly got that, and she didn't still get it. She was still waiting for Spirit, and Spirit just kept showing up. Her identity is not her vocation. She is not here because she needs to climb the spiritual corporate ladder or get more likes or more follows or more shares. That's not why she's here. Her greatest reward is serving God. That is where her identity lies. She is intentional. Yes. And she knows the power. She knows the power of intention and visioning. Even when the path is not clear, her intention never wavered. She has a fierce and feisty spirit. And I probably know that more than anyone. Because she was never shy about calling me out whenever I needed to be called out. And my best memory of that, not that one, not that one.
Well, wait, there's more?
Many. But my first memory of that was I was teaching a 40-person class at Sacred Center. I was teaching Foundations or Science of Mind 100 or something. And for some reason, I kept calling Melissa Michelle. And there was a Michelle in the class. And one night, I'm standing up there, I'm doing my thing, I'm teaching, and I don't know if she raised her hand or she was answering a question. And I just looked at her. And she looked at me, and she said in front of everyone, "Reverend Jennifer, what is my name?" And I looked at her, and I had to hesitate for a minute. And thankfully, I got a little whisper in my ear, and the Melissa came forth. And she perseveres. Ministry is not easy. And the road to ministry was not easy. And yet, here you sit. Here you stand, even when you're not standing. She, I believe this with all my heart, is going to make an impact on our movement.
You're ready?
Yes, ma'am. And for now, she's going to take the Rockland CSL community on an adventure that they will never, ever forget. And so, Reverend Melissa, you can stay seated as we begin our beautiful installation ritual. And so, ministers, leadership council, licensed practitioners, congregation, and friends, we are gathered here today to install Reverend Melissa Mora Nobles as the official spiritual leader of the Rockland Center for Spiritual Living. As the spiritual leader of this center, Reverend Melissa acts in several capacities. She serves as minister to the congregation and counselor to all who come to her for help and guidance. She is the spiritual leader of the people and has sole charge of the ecclesiastical functions of the center. It is her privilege to serve the spiritual needs of the congregation. Reverend Melissa, will you please stand and come forward? Let's hold hands. I now present to the Leadership Council and this congregation of the Rockland Center for Spiritual Living, Reverend Melissa Mora Nobles, to be duly installed as the official minister of this center. Reverend Melissa, do you accept the Declaration of Principles as put forth by our founder and teacher, Dr. Ernest Holmes, and promise to adhere to them and make them the basis of your teaching?
I do.
Do you so consecrate yourself to the ministry that you will do your utmost to model the way and reflect the Christ within in all that you think, say, and do?
I do.
Do you so dedicate yourself that you will be constantly aware of the truth within all people, and that you will see only the perfect spiritual person, perfect God, perfect person,
That's right.
perfect being?
I do.
Do you promise to minister faithfully and lovingly to the people now committed to your charge, and to seek ever to be an example of moderation? Patience? And loving kindness?
Yes, I do.
May the infinite Spirit which empowers you to do all these things grace you with the strength faithfully to perform the same and to live the vision of this center and the vision of the centers for spiritual living. Amen.
Amen.
And now I invite the Leadership Council to stand. We now present to you those individuals who have been duly elected to serve on the Leadership Council. Not only do these leaders oversee the business affairs of your center, but their individual and collective awareness establishes a consciousness for the entire congregation. Amen.
Amen.
Do you promise, and this is to the Leadership Council, do you promise to follow the light of truth, seeking at all times to be aware of what is right rather than who is right?
Yes, I do. Yes,
And do you accept Reverend And do you accept Reverend Melissa as your minister, your spiritual leader, and your teacher?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
All right, please be seated. And now I'm going to ask the practitioners to stand. And I know that we have one joining us on Zoom, and Chris is also with us in spirit.
Yes.
And so the charge to the practitioners. Your minister knows and understands that the licensed practitioner is part of the ecclesiastical team establishing and maintaining a continual consciousness of the spiritual vision of the center. You also carry out most of your work in the great and powerful silence. The fruits of this work are manifested as demonstrations in the lives of yourselves, your clients, and your center. And so I ask the practitioners, do you consecrate yourself to this spiritual vision and activity?
Yes.
Melissa, Michelle.
You did that on purpose.
Can you promise that at all times it will be obvious where your commitment is?
Yes.
Yeah?
She does.
Okay. Do you accept Reverend Melissa as your minister, your spiritual leader, and your teacher?
Yes.
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 Michelle, is that you? Yeah. All right, thank you. You may be seated. And now the charge to the congregation. And so anyone in this room who considers Rockland CSL their spiritual home, please stand.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you are the voice of this center. You are the ambassadors of our teaching in this community. You are the backbone as the volunteers who give service. Do you promise to uphold and practice the principles of the science of mind teaching moment by moment?
Yes.
Do you promise to uphold the vision of the center?
Yes.
This is an important one. If you have a differing opinion, do you promise to pray first? Think second and speak last.
Yes.
Do you promise to give of your time, talent, and treasure to this beloved fellowship of kindred spirits?
Yes.
I do.
And do you accept Reverend Melissa as your minister, your spiritual leader, and your teacher? So you may be seated. And now I'm going to ask all the ministers present to please stand. And very simply, as colleagues, do you promise to give of your friendship, your love, and your spiritual support to this minister?
Yes. You do.
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated. And so now I'm going to ask everyone, I have to let go of you. And I'm going to ask everyone to just extend your arms out in Reverend Melissa's direction. And Reverend Melissa, I'm going to ask you to just extend your arms out in a receiving direction. And feeling, really feel, even though you're not physically touching, feel the energy and the connection between you and Reverend Melissa. And please repeat after me. Reverend Melissa.
Reverend Melissa.
May you be grounded.
May you be grounded.
May you be gentle and loving with yourself.
May you be gentle and loving with yourself.
May you be grateful.
May you be grateful.
May you be authentic and free.
May you be authentic and free.
And may you live and serve with joy.
And may you live and serve with joy.
And so, Reverend Melissa, through the authority vested in me by the Centers of Spiritual Living in Golden, Colorado, and acting on behalf of this congregation, I do install you here and now as a minister and spiritual leader of Rockland Center for Spiritual Living with all the rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining to this sacred position. Teach, heal, minister to the people, and may the peace of God be with you. The God of peace dwells richly in your heart through love and makes your labor fruitful unto eternal life. Amen.
So it is. God breathe through me. God feel through me. God see through me. God heal through me. God
God love through me. God speak through me. God move through me. God live through me. I am an instrument, a willing vessel. God breathe through me. God feel through me. God see through me. God heal through me. God love through me. God move through me. God speak through me. God live through me. I am an instrument, a willing vessel.
That was just my water pop.
Don't worry about it. It's good to be there.
No, I need some water.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh, my heart is so full right now. And I am just so grateful. I just want to take y'all all in. I'm just so grateful. Just so grateful. Can I say I'm just so grateful?
Yes.
Say it.
Well, we're grateful for you.
All
right.
Okay. So, I just want to thank everybody for being here. And I want to thank the installation committee. I'm just going to call you by name. I want to thank the chair, Jan, who is our interim president, who works tirelessly for Rockland CSL. Cheryl and Janet and Susie and Caroline and Bill and Sue and Kristen and Michelle and Stacy and my entire Rockland CSL family, I thank you. Our amazing, you see how I'm claiming them? Our amazing musicians. Rhonda, Danae, and Ty Stevens. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of the ministers who are here to support me. I so appreciate you. I want to shout out just for a moment my soul brothers over here, Rev Rodney and Eugene Holden. And Eugene drove all the way from Pennsylvania to be here. And Brooklyn ain't close either, so Roger came all the way from Brooklyn. So thank you for opening the service, the ceremony, in the way that you did. It was really important to me that we opened the installation ceremony with libations. And I woke up this morning and what came to mind immediately was, we need to have an altar. We need to have an altar. And so I grabbed together a couple of things that are some of my favorite things. So you see a purple elephant over there. And in the middle is a picture of some of my ancestors. And so my grandmother, Ethel, her sister, my great aunt, Mary, my uncle, John, my great grandfather, Owen, his wife, whose name I don't know, is his second wife, and some other ancestors. And so I just wanted their energy that's represented and imbued in this photo when it was taken many, many moons ago to be here. And so I feel their presence. I feel their presence. I also want to acknowledge my mentor, Rev Tawana, who also came all the way from Philly. Thank you so much for being here, for all your support. And Reverend Jennifer, after all that you said about me, I'm not going to say anything about you.
See what I had to put up with?
Reverend Jennifer has been with me through so much of this journey, so much. It's wonderful when you have someone who believes in you so deeply, when you have someone who sees you even before you see yourself. She is that person in my life. She is that person in my life. And I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you. And she casts spells, y'all. So this is what y'all don't know. She casts spells. Because here I am. There's a lot in that, and so it is. There's a lot in that, and so it is. She planted that seed. But see, she didn't just plant the seed, she nourished it. She nourished me in such a divine way. And I can't thank you enough. To my friends who are here, I just want to take a moment to just acknowledge some of them. Some of my best friends are here. Some of my soulmates are here. And these are people who have been riding with me for decades. So Heike, where are you? Here she is. Heike is my Libra love sister who has become a part of our family. We met at Sacred Center, and I'm just so grateful for our friendship, Heike. Julian, where are you? It's so hard to see with the lights. There she is. What I want you to know about Julian is that she's an amazing writer. I'm shouting you out, Julian. And she's been a dear friend to me, I don't know, like 20 years or something, maybe even more. Thank you, Julian, for being here. and she's also Davy the cat's second mama. Reverend Dr. Albert Andrews Sr. And I threw in the doctor because he will be receiving his doctorate in about 2 weeks. Dr. Albert has been a part of my life. He's been a part of every major life event. Every major life event. So we're talking like 30 years, y'all. He's been there in my corner. And for his beautiful wife, Stephanie, who's cool with that. Because let me tell y'all, not all wives will be cool with that. She's cool with that. My BFF, Aranessa. Aranessa came all the way from DC with my beautiful goddaughter, Addison, who will be graduating from middle school in a couple of weeks. I'll just simply say that Aranessa is my person. She's my person. And my family, my sister Erica, I keep feeling like you're here. There she is. Okay. It's just hard to see, you know, the stage lights and all of that. It's hard to see. Erica, and is Kenny here?
He's not here. The kids are behind me.
Oh, my niece and nephew, Sydney and Owen. Thank y'all for being here. It's wonderful to have family that you like. My sis, where are you? Oh, you're back there. Oh, you're the one that's been waving at me. I can't see you. Denise. And we call each other sis and some other things, but I'll stick to sis for now. Because our mothers are twins. And Denise is just an amazing human being and an extraordinary teacher. And she loves me fiercely. To my sugars, Aria and Zola. And this will tell you who they are. At 16, Supreme 16, they still greet me every time I walk through the door with hugs and kisses. They are my greatest teachers. Thank you, sugars. My husband. Marco, we just celebrated 21 years.
Yeah.
Can y'all imagine 21 years of putting up with me? I'm a lot, y'all. Thank you, honey, for just all your love and support. And no matter what I say, he's always, yeah, go for it. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You got this. And the person who walked me down the aisle when we were married and walked me down the aisle here, my mother. But this I know is true. I would not be here.
That's true.
If it wasn't for my mother. And I'm not just talking about the fact that she birthed me. I'm talking about the fact that she raised me. She raised me up loving God. Loving God. And having built a foundation and knowing where my source is. God is my source. God is my source. And my mother taught me that. So thank you, Mommy. That's who I get it from, right? And there's many, many more that I want to acknowledge, but just know that I'm just so grateful to have you here. And I just want to acknowledge one other person who totally surprised me with her presence. Milan. Stand up, sister. What I want you to know about Milan is she flew here from California to be here. I love you. I love you. Totally shocked. Thank you, Milan. I so appreciate your presence.
Thank you for changing my life.
Girl, don't get me started again. We had a little breakdown back there when I saw her. So I'm going to be brief.
Might be a bit late for that. It's all right. I mean, starting now. Okay.
What time is it?
1:46.
Oh, we're pretty good.
So in 2018, I became an interfaith minister through One Spirit Interfaith Seminary. And at that ordination ceremony, each of us had to share our vows as an interfaith minister. And I wrote my vows in my journal. I always write things first in my journal. And this is what I wrote in my journal that I shared at that ceremony. I vow to be a vessel of joy. I vow to serve up joy in heaping spoonfuls through my ministry. I vow to support people in living their life in joy, connected to their yes. My soul says yes, yes, yes. Oh, Eugene, don't start singing. Don't start singing, Eugene. In 2021, I became an affiliated licensed minister at Religious Science with Centers for Spiritual Living. And when I applied to become affiliated with CSL, there was a very specific and particular way that you have to do things. Can I get an amen? And a part of that process was to provide a narrative biographical sketch. Someone said it with me, right? And I opened the narrative of my biographical sketch with a prayer poem that I wrote in my journal when I became a practitioner. And what I wrote was this: I am the breath of my ancestors. They breathe me. I am the daughter of Eunice Gibson, who is the daughter of Ethel Williams Gibson, who is the daughter of Melissa Davis, whose name I gratefully carry. I carry her name and honor their legacy of prayer, power, and purpose in our lineage of ministry. We have a lineage of ministers and my family. I invoke the ministry of joy. I invite joy as my beingness and in my doingness. But let me go back a little further than that. When I became a practitioner in 2013, we also had to say our vows. And the vows that I wrote in my journal that I shared was, I want to spread joy like a virus. Right, I want to spread joy like a virus. And the only cure is love. In 2002, going back even a little further, I wrote in my journal, when I was working in a toxic environment, I wrote in my journal, I work with joy. And as I started going back looking at my journals, I could see that this was a thread from way back when, this journal of joy, this journey of joy. And throughout my journals, I would have somewhere in there, enjoy, I-N-J-O-Y, and outjoy, right? All over the place. Didn't know what that was going to look like. I thought I was going to be, a feng shui practitioner. And I was for a moment in time. All these things. And Marco and I even started a company that's thriving today called Enjoy Enterprises. But what's my point in sharing all of this? This is my point. There's a Bible verse that states this. Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false.
That's right.
There is a revelation seeking to express through each and every one of us. Each and every one of us at the appointed time. And what is the appointed time?
Now.
Right.
Now. It is God's time. It is God's time. So I just want to leave you with this. Write down your life. Write it down. Keep it plain.
Yeah.
So that you can run with it. Yes?
Yes.
Do your work. You don't just write it down and then close the book.
That's right.
You got to do your work. Right?
Yes.
And what I know is that we don't do the work alone, but it's the indwelling God that does it through us. Yes?
Yes.
And it's all the people around us who support us as we do it. And I also know that I don't need to know the how. And we love to say that in New Thought, right? You don't have to know the how, but this is so true. Stop hesitating because you're trying to figure it out. Ain't nothing to figure out.
Right?
It is already done in the mind of God. Write it down, make it plain, and run with it.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Word to the community.
folks out. Kristen, I think you have something for Reverend Melissa.
I do, and just a few really quick words. The first one being thank you.
Come up here.
And I might just say that when I heard that Reverend Jennifer was retiring and had a moment.
Actively retired.
Was actively retiring and needed a few minutes to process that, I said.
You? She needed a few minutes.
I said, well, that's easy. We've got Rev Melissa. And Jan said, well, no, Kristen, it's not quite that simple. And you stepped up and you got to get in, right? Was it your 4 gets or 5 gets? And you did the work so that you could be here today to lead us. And we really honor and appreciate and thank you for that. And these are some fun little things to go with your amazing style. We always looking to see what she's wearing. Or at least I am. I'll speak for myself. Thank you.
Okay, so, all you tall people. And nobody sing that song, promise. We wanted to have some time to share some words with you, but I'm going to suggest this because I do things like this. This is my job, to keep things flowing. You know what a good administrator does? It enables other people to do everything they need to do.
That's right.
You are all invited to come across the street for lunch. If there's anybody who's not coming and wants to make a few remarks to Reverend Melissa, I want to give you a few minutes now, but we have a couple more things planned, and we're really supposed to be out of here by 2, and so apparently I'm the only one who can tell time. So is there anyone who wants to say something to Reverend Melissa now, or we can take it over to lunch?
Take it over to lunch.
Okay, you sure? All right, so then the next thing is our closing treatment, and that's not my name down there, Mr. Holden.
We need the mic. Oh, just in
Yeah,
case.
you can put it back up, the regular people.
So if you don't mind, take the hand of the beautiful light next to you. And take a nice deep breath. We're going to take one more and let that out with a ah. See, the breath that I breathe, the breath that you breathe, the breath that we breathe is the breath of God.
Yes.
And so it is with this breath that I speak this word from a place of joy. From a place of joyous gratitude. Joy-filled, joyous, and joyful. Recognizing first and foremost that there is this infinite intelligence from which all things are created. It is known by so many names. Sometimes it is called God, sometimes it's called Allah, sometimes it's called Krishna, sometimes it's called Yahweh, sometimes it's called Olodumare or Vudun. But we call it forth into this conscious awareness, recognizing that that power within us is the God within us. So that which we feel, that love that we feel inside, that joy that we feel inside, we call that God. Calling it forth into this conscious awareness, recognizing that it is the source of all of life, that right where God is, we are. As I like to say, God so loved the world that it turned upon itself, clothed itself, and then named itself you, me, and we. We are God in action. And so it is in this awareness of our oneness in God that I speak this word, recognizing and just knowing that in this time, in this space, we celebrate. We celebrate, Spirit, we celebrate how God is showing up so beautifully as the Reverend Melissa Morit Nobles. That God so loved the world that he said, you know what, I want to come to this earth plane, this spiritual plane called earth, and play on this spiritual plane called earth as Melissa. And so we all get to join in this. in this beautiful celebration. And so I know that as Melissa has gone forth and standing in the divinity of her beingness, being her authentic self, that we too, she set the example, that we too get to stand in the divinity of our being our authentic self. Radiating light, radiating love, oh yeah, and radiating joy. And so I just want to take this time also to bless the food that we will partake in a little bit later on, knowing that it sustains us, that it absolutely nourishes us as we have been nourished today. Yes. So for this and for so much more than my eyes can see, my ears can hear, and my words can possibly convey, I remain forever grateful and thankful. It is from this space of gratitude that I release this word into the awesome dynamic action of love and law, knowing that as this word is released into the law has no other recourse. It cannot help itself. It must take these words and mold them and shape them, create them, design them, and then return them unto us completely fulfilled. So you know what we do? We lovingly allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Amen.
Okay, so we have two amazing musicians here today. So we're going to finish out our program with both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
oh,
Say what?
hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Bass player goes like this.
I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain and wearing it round my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go. It will take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden. Now, taking my freedom, putting it in my song, singing loud and strong. I'm moving all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be high stepping, y'all, just letting this joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden,
Living my life like it's golden.
I'm holding all of my freedom. You can't take it from me. I was born into it. It comes naturally. I'm strumming my own freedom, playing the God in me, representing her glory. Oh, she's proud of me. Oh, she's proud
Living my life like
of
it's golden.
me. Yeah.
Living my life like it's golden.
Living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. It really matters to me, yeah.
Golden, golden.
Congratulations. Have a good one, everybody. Enjoy.
Thank y'all. I think Jan is going to come back up. Yes?
No, just tell them, it takes a village.
It takes
Everybody
a village.
pick up some balloons and some flowers and take them across the street.
Okay. Thank you all. Please join us across the street. Please join us. Thank you all on Facebook and Zoom. Thank you all for being here. I see you, Rev Deb and Tracy and Rev Jacqueline and oh, hey, Rev Carolyn. It's good to see you. Hey, Mom. Hey. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Rev. Wada, it's good to see you. Hey, Sekou. Hey, I saw your mom's name earlier. Hey, Mama Sekou. Thank you all for being here the way that you could be here. I appreciate it so much. Love y'all.